Hey guys, we have some interesting energetic dynamics playing out today. Universe is really actually providing us with sort of like a full spectrum view into maybe some things that we've been questioning or that we've been needing to reconsider, rediscover, or just understand better generally at this point in time. On one hand, today, we do still have the sun in opposition to Jupiter. This is helping to give us a very expanded understanding of something, bring some truth in the context perhaps of our own like personal truths or in regards to relationship dynamics. Jupiter expands things and helps to broaden our perspective. On the other hand, today, though, guys, we have three personal planets, Mercury, Venus, ruling our current lunar cycle, and also the moon forming exact aspect to Pluto. Pluto is the lord of the underworld. Pluto rules what is hidden and what is not presented on the surface. And when we're dealing with Pluto, we're really like shining a light into the dark. We're looking under the surface. We're looking behind the curtain. We're looking down into the root and discovering the problem. So on one hand, we're getting this expanded overall view that is helping to bring some truth. But on the other hand, today, we're really having an ability to sort of peer into like the darker crevices of things where we might not normally look, and as a result some things may have been eluding us. And this is also interesting because it's happening in the context of another aspect that is coming in, which is really going to be facilitating and bringing some problem solving energy. So we're getting a very good glimpse of the problem today, and universe is simultaneously facilitating some energy that's going to help bring us the solution. So we've got a lot to talk about today, you guys. Going to the top of the world with Jupiter, going to the bottom of things with all the Pluto energy, and then this Mars-Saturn dynamic as well. Let's get into the report. Let's see how this is playing out today and what we may be able to expect on the ground. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Tuesday, September 27th, 2022. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. If you stick with me till the end of the report, we're also going to be doing some tarot cards, talking about some tarot cards that came out in conjunction with our astrology today, just so that we can tap the field for more than one modality to get a more holistic, well-rounded view of our energetic thumbprint that we're dealing with for today. So let's start with the astrology, though, you guys. Very Plutonic day. Very much so. Yes, we do have a strong Jupiter influence going on as well, but Pluto is sort of like all the business today in the context of whatever Jupiter opposing the sun is bringing us. Jupiter opposite the sun, I talked about this a lot yesterday in my video because that was when Jupiter was exactly opposite the sun. I also talked about this in the new moon in Libra video because Jupiter was also opposite the sun in the new moon in Libra, and we're still in this energy today. But this is Jupiter rules, like I said in my intro, truth and expansion, the overall viewpoint. It's also the great benefic. It brings the blessings and luck and fortune. Things starting this month are honestly like probably going to go pretty well. But Jupiter in opposition to the sun, it's just that it's like in the sign of Aries. This is about bringing us some type of personal truth, expanded understanding of our own personal truth, or just overall, like, it also brings confidence. It also brings belief and trust and faith in ourselves and our ability to like take a risk, to move forward. Aries, to pioneer out in a new direction, to take some action, to like redefine our own identity as well in alignment with these personal truths. But it's all about personal truth when we're dealing with Jupiter in the sign of Aries, opposing the sun in Libra, Libra being the sign of relationships, being lit up by the sun right now. How are the relationship dynamics in our lives being affected by this expanded realization of our own personal truths? This is what we are dealing with throughout this Libra cycle. And today, with the Pluto influence, though, like we have to realize Venus is the ruler of Libra, where the sun is right now. And Venus today is in a 1 degree orb off, trine to Pluto. Venus moves to 28 degrees of Virgo today. Mercury retrograde, slowing down, preparing to station to go direct on October 2nd because of his slower motion, is still at 27 degrees of Virgo. That's the exact trine to Pluto. If you guys missed my video from yesterday, we had the sun exactly opposite Jupiter yesterday. We had Venus and Mercury in an exact conjunction in an exact trine to Pluto yesterday, and we had a grand trine in air signs going on. Yesterday was a pretty like significant day on an energetic level, and a lot of this is carrying over today. And like I said, because Mercury is slowing down in his motion, preparing to go to station direct, he's moving very slow, and therefore he is still holding out at this degree in the exact trine to Pluto. So we have Mercury, our mind, our thoughts, what we're talking about, just like like what our mind is attuned to today in the trine to Pluto, this facilitating aspect that is really helping us to peer into the darkness, to like look for secrets, to dig for truth. When we have Mercury in a trine to Pluto, this is like an actual desire to like get a little bit dirty in the process of figuring out like the real answers. This can make us, it's just like a very penetrating insight and like keen mind for like investigation and research and like figuring out the truth about stuff, figuring out the inner workings, figuring out like the base mode, like the original power source, like what is fueling it all, you know, when we're dealing with Mercury in the trine to Pluto and Mercury retrograde as well. This is like rediscovering. This is also like very this could be very much about like analyzing our own mind and like our own subconscious programming and our own like the way that our mind works and our own like self-talk and mental like attachments and stuff, like mental programming and patterns and stuff like that. This is us like really being able to sort of like detach ourselves from them in a way that we can actually see it and analyze it. And Pluto is also a very regenerative force. At its highest octave, Pluto is things being like absolutely regenerated and healed. Like a very strong healing energy also comes with the Pluto energy because it's purifying things, and it's like sucking out all the distortions through this breakdown process. But then all that's left is exactly what is needed to like build something that is like purified and refined and powerful. That's where we get this power aspect of it. Well, one of the ways that the power comes through it too, but it's just like very regenerative force. That's another thing about this day today too, as this energy is playing out. There could be some, I mean, we're in problem solving energy as well, like I was saying with Mars and Saturn coming together, but with this Virgo trine, this earth sign trine, Mercury and Venus in the sign of Virgo today, and the trine to Pluto and yesterday as well. These problems could be like remedies or cures along the lines of healing as well. There could be some real healing knowledge, healing wisdom, or just like insight, learning something that can heal an issue perhaps that we've been struggling with for a while. It could be coming through in this energy as well. But you know, with all this Pluto, with all this, I mean, Venus ruling this cycle and the Jupiter aspect of things, like exposing these personal truths and how it perhaps is impacting our relationship dynamics. And then today we have this penetrating insight coming in, Mercury in the trine to Pluto, like figuring things out, perhaps figuring things out from the past too, like maybe like really discovering how maybe like our own mental patterning, or you know, the patterns that we found ourselves in the past, like being able to like crack ourselves out of that, or like crack the code to that, crack our like own algorithm or something, or like figure out why we find ourselves in these like repeat scenarios or something like that, with Mercury retrograde in this extended state trine with Pluto. And also Venus ruling Libra, right, ruling our lunar cycle right now, ruling the position of the sun and the opposition to Jupiter, these personal truths and the relationship dynamics, like Venus and trine to Pluto. This is also major relationship transformations. This is Venus and Mercury and trine to Pluto as well. This is powerful encounters, conversations. This is a profound, like cathartic need to express our feelings as well. This is also very transformative in terms of like what we want, what we desire, how we want to relate to others. This is also, though, you guys, I need to say, I didn't mention this in my report from yesterday, but it was like hitting me strong today. This is also like a very seductive, charismatic energy. Like, we need to be careful that we're not being coerced in this energy, especially through like seduction or charm, or someone having just like a very like smooth, like suave, you know what I mean? Like in this energy, because with Venus and Mercury both there, this is like speaking roses. This is like beauty coming out of our mouth, Venus and Mercury together. And the trine to Pluto. Pluto is this power, this very powerful influence. And people are likely to be just unconsciously getting what they want, or like exerting power today through beauty or through charm or through charisma or through seduction in this energy. But, you know, if it's being used more consciously, this is also like a very powerful energy to sort of like manipulate situations through having the right words, you know, saying it the right way, presenting the right image in combination with the right words, and just, you know, sort of using that more like sexualized mental energy. You can almost like hypnotize people sort of in this, the way that this is playing out. This could also be perhaps more of like a narcissistic energy, like love bombing and stuff like that. So we kind of want to be careful. Don't, if you feel like something like that may be going on, just like very powerful, this is like a very powerful influence trying to, that is able to like draw people in this energy. So if you find yourself having some type of an encounter like that, you may want to, you know, give it a second look before just like signing on the dotted line, okay? Because that is one way that this energy could sort of be used. And again, like, it's not even happening on, I feel like a conscious level in most cases. I feel like this is just sort of the unconscious drive. And I feel like people are really seeking after what they want in this energy as well too, with Venus and Mercury together and in the trine to Pluto. This is like very powerful urges and desires. And today with the moon and square to Pluto as well, like people may be experiencing some emotional imbalances today that are really causing them to sort of like want to just like go after or take, you know, what they're feeling like they want in the moment. And there may just be a very coercive way of going about this today. So wanted to mention that as well. But like more so what I'm feeling like with the sun in opposition to Jupiter and this relationship versus self dynamic and these personal truths and how they're impacting relationships is like us really seeing the truth of what we want. Like this is us like really getting to the bottom of what's in our heart and like really feeling more self-empowered in that we deserve to have what it is that we want. Like I feel like that is why people may be sort of going after or sort of like trying to get what they want out of situations today, because I feel like this is empowering our internalized sense of self-worth and self-value. And we're like, you know what, like I desire that, like I deserve that, like I want that, I'm taking it. And again, like a lot of this I feel like is playing out on an unconscious, subconscious level as well with this Pluto energy and power struggles and stuff like that as well. Like there could definitely be like a lot of like unconscious power plays that are sort of playing out in the vibe today that are just like causing some interesting scenarios. But themes of power for sure, regeneration, transformation. This is a very powerful day. And like I said, we want to watch for seduction, charm, charisma. It's being used as a means to gain power in this energy, because also with Jupiter opposite the sun, this is also very self-empowering. This brings the self-confidence and the trust and the faith and the belief in ourselves and our ability to, you know, take some action or to take a risk or to try something new with this Aries energy and Jupiter being there. And honestly, like it is likely to be successful. That's why we sort of like want to be careful that we are also not using our own personal like charisma and charm and that type of energy to get something that we want in a situation if we know that it is like, you know, maybe not in the best interest of everyone involved, okay? People taking what they want, feeling self-empowered to ask for what they want, persuasion, persuasion and seduction very strong right now. Also though, with Jupiter opposite the sun, like I said, we're seeing both sides. Yes, like people may be doing that and acting that way, and it may be working and it may be like going swimmingly today. But on the other hand, there's also this other side of the energy that is really seeing through it, seeing the truth. Like we've got this expanded overall view in regards to relationship dynamics. So yes, on one hand, there may be some manipulative energy that is going on in order to attain some type of like personal purpose or desire or objective in this energy. But on the other hand, we're also somehow having an opportunity to see it from a higher perspective, to see through it, to call it what it is, and to like really just gain a greater understanding of perhaps maybe like how long this dynamic has been playing out in the context of this relationships of this relationship or of this dynamic, and it's showing us that problem. So it's like, yes, on one hand, people may be acting this way, but on the other hand, like they're also being exposed through the act of acting that way. It's like going both ways. So it's like a lot of this energy, if it's going that way, may not ultimately be effective. But more so, I feel like we should be really using this energy. And I feel like life is going to be showing us, perhaps through some of these conversations or through some of these encounters or through some of these things that are going on, what we're really like, how our preferences are changing and how our like shifts in our attitude and our mindset right now are also impacting what we really want, what we desire, the type of people that we want to relate with, the type of relationships that we want to have, what we want to spend our money on even. And again, this is also coming from this expanded understanding of our own personal truth as well and how it's playing in. But power struggles with all this Pluto energy, these are personal planets. We're talking about Mercury, Venus, and the moon. Like it doesn't get much more like we are, holding hands with the underworld today in this energy. Like we're very much, like I said, it's like keen to figure it out. Like we're not like offset by what we might find in the darkness in this energy. Instead, rather, we're using it as a part of our personal expansion and these relationship shifts. We are diagnosing problems, I feel like, in this energy. We're like X-ray physicians of our own psyches and of our own experiences, but this is bringing up as well these power struggles, especially with the moon in the square to Pluto today, and shifting power dynamics as well, shifting power dynamics in relationships and in partnerships, of course, as a result of this underlying energy and these personal truths and the way that that is changing us internally could definitely be, like I said, the overall theme today, especially the first half of the day. Now, the second half of the day, the moon will leave Libra, where it has been squaring Pluto, but then it will enter Scorpio, which is also ruled by Pluto and Mars as well. And Mars is aspecting today. We are getting to the Mars-Saturn trine. We'll talk about that next. But with the moon leaving, like the moon making the square to Pluto while we have Venus and Mercury in aspect to Pluto, and then leaving Libra and entering Scorpio, it's just like, oh, more Scorpio energy. It's not like taking our eye out of like that corner over there that we've been like looking at and trying to figure out if it's like holding all the secrets that can like solve our problems essentially. But the moon will move into Scorpio then, so whatever is going on is still deeply affecting us. It's like whatever may have come up in this energy, whatever conversation we had, whatever understanding we came to, whatever discovery we've made, it starts like it's like impacting us on like a very deep level, a deep emotional level as we move through the day, building towards though the release of something related to the past. And we know this because the south node of the moon ruling the past, ruling karma, and also ruling what we need to release and move away from in order to detach ourselves from that which has essentially been like stifling our growth. The moon in Scorpio is going to start activating that south node. And, as we move through the day today and into tomorrow, the moon will come into the conjunction with the south node. So it's really actually beautiful how this is playing out, because it's like we're given this ability today, or this desire actually with Venus there, you guys, it's a desire. Like it's in Mercury, like it's not even, it's something that we have to do. It's like, we want to do this. Like we want to know the truth. Like this is the energy that's like, show me the truth. Damn it. Like I want to know, show it to me. And we're just like, so we want to know, we want to see, and we're figuring it out. We're diagnosing the problem. And then as we move through the rest of the day and into tomorrow, like, yes, it may be in fact affecting us. Yes, it may be really bringing up some difficult emotions and stuff, but we're moving to the point of like release and remedy. And remember, Scorpio is the sign, also a sign ruled by Pluto. It's also this deeply regenerative and healing sign, ruling purge and purification, like death and rebirth. But the rebirth, the Phoenix energy, comes after the purge and purification part. This is also solving problems. This is also like deeply healing. So whatever we're discovering in this energy, it is necessary, because it is showing us really, like, again, Jupiter, expanded truth, expanded understanding about changes that need to happen, shifts that need to happen in our relationship dynamics, so that we can release ourselves from any of these patterns or any of this programming or any of these essentially hangups that have been these issues, so that we can solve these problems, heal these issues, find a cure that helps us to release ourselves from what has been holding us back from going on this trajectory of growth in alignment with our authentic truth at this point in time, activating our destiny, rising into our true potential, because that is what universe wants us to do right now as we are moving into the age of Aquarius. And everything that is happening to shake us back into an alignment with our ability to do that and to really like actualize ourselves, to come into our true potential, because that's how the age of Aquarius happens, one by one by one by one. So that is really sort of like how I feel like this Pluto energy is playing out today, and what it's boiling down to for us. Energy is pushing us to discover the truth about things, specifically about ourselves. We have the sun today coming to 5 degrees of Libra. That Sabian symbol is a man teaching the true inner knowledge of the new world to his students. So the sun opposing Jupiter, this expansive personal truth, right? At this degree, a man teaching the true inner knowledge of the new world to his students, the new world. This is the age of Aquarius. This is our personal paradigm transition. This is the rearrangements, the recalibrations that are going on within us right now to help us rearrange our life in a way that is conducive to our growth and our true fulfillment, and making us feel the sense of like purpose and just like thriving essentially in life. Universe is pushing us towards that self-actualization, which would be this new world, which is also represented by the age of Aquarius. We also have Uranus like along these lines ruling the age of Aquarius right now in the square to Saturn, 19 Taurus. A new continent is rising from the ocean. So there's a new continent rising from the ocean. I feel like this is a symbolic reference to this age that we are transitioning into now, and the energetic shifts going on within us as we each individually recreate our own reality, our own world in alignment with our authentic truth as a part of this process. And then specifically today, with the context of this energy playing out and the sun in opposition to Jupiter at this degree, the man teaching the true inner knowledge of the new world to students. So something about this personal truth that we're gaining is really helping us to understand where we're going next and who we truly are and what we need to do in order to begin to embody that more. And then we also have the earth today at 5 degrees of Aries, always in a polar opposition to the sun. This is interesting. 5 degrees of Aries, a triangle with wings is the Sabian symbol of that degree. And we also have 2 significant trine aspects in effect today. And trines, these are the triangle aspects. These are the 120 degree aspects represented through triangles when we make through their little glyphs. And the grand trine, when we have planets, this is all of the modalities, all of the elements, like the air signs or the earth signs or the fire signs or the water signs. These are the trines, and they're facilitating energy. They flow together. And today we are dealing with 2 trines. We have an earth trine going on between Mercury and Venus and Pluto. And then we also have this air trine going on, which we're going to talk about in a minute, which is between Mars and Saturn, that comes exact today. And we have the earth at a triangle with wings. And I feel like this is just a reference to these trine aspects that we have going on today and what they're doing to help us bridge into that new world, to sort of elevate our viewpoint, elevate our perspective, and facilitate our transition into redefining our lives back in alignment with our authentic truth, which is the new continent, which is the new world. And the triangle with wings today, these 2 trines operating simultaneously, I feel like are helping us to do that. Now, let's talk about Saturn and Mars, okay? Saturn and Mars in this trine. This is a very long aspect. This is an extended stay aspect. This is happening it's starting today on the 27th, and it's going to be carrying through the 30th. And then on the 1st, Mars will move ahead and Saturn will actually retrograde back into exact square with Uranus. So this 4-day aspect is actually leading us up to our next Saturn-Uranus square, which is coming in alignment with Mercury going direct. And we're going to have a lot to talk about in those regards as well. But anyways, this is an extended stay aspect. Normally Saturn and Mars would not be an exact aspect for this long, but because Mars is slowing down and preparing to go retrograde, moving very slowly in the sky, that is putting him at this specific degree in exact trine to Mars for these 4 days. And Mars in trine to Saturn in air signs too. We need to keep in mind that this is happening in air signs because this is obviously going to really influence the way that this energy is playing out. So Mars and trine to Saturn, first of all, in these air signs, gaining an understanding of how to move forward. Mars is our action, our energy, our behavior, our willpower, our inspiration, our motivation, also like aggression and anger and hostility. It is the fire planet. It does rule war. Saturn is in it rules like militaristic type stuff. Saturn is control and limitation and karma and time and the past and like judgment. The strict disciplinarian controls, limits, represses things. It's a very practical, grounded, earth-based energy, but it's also about manifestation. And Saturn holds things back because Saturn wants things to be done right and in their right and proper time. Saturn doesn't want us to have to come back to redo things or to make mistakes or to be reckless or to rush ahead. Saturn also rules like military and stuff like that, but more of like the generals and the authority. Saturn rules authority figures across the board. Saturn and Mars coming into a trine, this is a facilitating aspect. So it does a lot of things. These are both the great malefics, but in the trine aspect, I feel like this is actually a very constructive energy. Me personally, I look at Mars and Saturn in trine as a master builder energy because of Mars's ability to put a lot of energy and inspiration and motivation and passion into something, and Saturn's ability to really like refine it and make like a concentrated, focused effort. And it's like Mars and Saturn in the trine, this is like hard work, concentrated effort, and it produces like feats, like glorious masterpieces and feats of art and labor that are very long lasting and enduring. This is like legacy building energy when we have Mars in the trine to Saturn, master builder energy. And in air signs, this is bringing in ideas. That's why I believe that this is a problem solving energy, because this energy, this Mars in trine to Saturn and Gemini and Aquarius, I feel like this is opening our mind in a way that is bringing in practical solutions to solve real problems that actually help us progress moving forward in one way or another, gaining an understanding, a real understanding of how to move forward. And remember, Saturn is also retrograde in his motion right now too, which has a lot to do with restructuring like the inner workings of our own personal way of navigating our reality, essentially. This energy, I feel like, is going to be bringing us an idea of what actions we need to take to rebuild our lives, which is something that has sort of been pending over this past few weeks. We've been in a lot of energy that has really been trying to help us reevaluate and reconsider how we feel about things and what we want and what our preferences are. But now we're moving into an energy that is preparing us to act. And it is through helping us to really gain a more detail-oriented like feel for what actions will really benefit us at this point in time without creating any type of like unnecessary frivolous experiences that may interfere with our true progress. Master builder week in this energy for sure. This is a great week. If you've got a project that you need to get done, this is for sure a week to do it. You are likely to get a lot of really good insight about like how to solve little problems that may have been holding you up here or there, and like concentration and focus and work ethic and self-discipline and stuff is likely to be off the charts this week. This is a really great week to do anything that requires self-discipline, again, like concentrated, focused work and effort, and just an ability to really, like I said, like put the pedal to the metal in terms of moving forward towards something that needs a level of committed work put towards it. Lots of energy and ideas focused into our work and concentrated and focused on something. This energy also, another thing that is really positive, I feel like, about this energy is it gives the strength to cope with difficult situations, like whatever trials and tribulations may be ongoing simultaneous to this. This is actually really blessed energy if we are having to encounter some more difficult experiences right now, or do some things that are just, more of a challenge to us personally, because this energy, this Mars and Saturn, gives us like a tremendous ability to endure over difficulty and also to win the good graces of authority figures as well. Hard work and like a diligent effort is generally like very rewarded from the higher ups. Like this is also a week where, like, if you're wanting a promotion or something, or if you're wanting to get like higher, if you're wanting to get noticed or like recognized or rewarded in some way, in some like career-based capacity, like putting your like hard, diligent, focused effort on display somehow this week will really probably benefit you and pay off, because this is energy where that type of stuff is just recognized and rewarded. And it's also like another reason this is really good. I feel like this is really good energy, very practical in terms of our thoughts and ideas. Like it gives the way that our mind is working a very practical nature to it. And also simultaneously with this trine between Mercury and Venus in the with Pluto today, this is also that penetrating insight. So not only do we have this penetrating insight into solving these problems and getting to the bottom of perhaps what may have been going on in relationship dynamics and stuff like that, figuring out what it is that we really want, but our mind is also like really geared in a much more practical way at this point in time, figuring out like, and that's why this is also good, like I was saying, problem solving energy. We may be asking ourselves, like, in terms of what we're sorting through right now, what we're filtering through right now, the energy that we're gaining, the perspective that we are coming to, what we are discovering, and the shift in our preferences. And we may be going through a lot of options and choices, and really, again, in this retrograde energy, reconsidering a lot. But with Mars and Saturn together, we're likely to be asking ourselves, like, how useful is this thing to me? What good is this thing to me? Like, what is the functional use and purpose of this situation in my life right now? And how is it benefiting the progress I'm trying to make, what I'm trying to build in alignment with the personal truths that I'm discovering and what I want to create for myself in my material world and in my relationship dynamics going forward? Ultimately, this is helping us to, again, get to know ourselves better. Like that's what this whole cycle and the Virgo cycle a lot too was about. We're getting to know ourselves again. We are coming back into a greater relationship with our personal truth. We are rediscovering ourselves. We are rediscovering our preferences, and we are realigning to those, and that is shifting a lot that's going on. But we are really like just in some energy today that is bringing up some powerful transformations, perhaps. It also helps us to see ourselves and our own reactions to everything. So this is an energy that also helps us to sort of like self-analyze, like introspect, like see how we are like self-checking energy, sort of like how are we using our energy, and is it the most effective way possible? Like where are we wasting time? Where are we wasting energy? And how is that not like benefiting our bottom line or our progress or what we want to build or what we want to create at this period of time, the way that we want to embody these truths that we're coming to and redefine our lives going forward. This is what we are coming to terms with in this energy, seeing the details in everything, including ourselves. Well thought out legal arguments and debates also, I feel like this is a good time for that. Those are also likely to be rewarded again with this Sun Jupiter energy. If you've been in like legal situations or difficult like court cases and stuff like that, like this is a period of time where you are likely to get a positive outcome, a victory, if there is some justice that needs to be restored. The same also I feel like goes for like plans that we're making now, or the things that we're working on, the projects that we're working on in this energy, things that we are beginning to come together and that we are preparing to execute. I feel like they're going to be supported in the long run with some type of perhaps a bigger success maybe than we even anticipated. And I also want to say the Sabian symbols of Mars and Saturn today as well. Mars is moving to 20 degrees of Gemini today. That Sabian symbol is a cafeteria with an abundance of choices. Mars will be here for the next 4 days in the trine to Pluto at 20 degrees of Aquarius, a large white dove bearing a message. Making decisions, you guys, making choices, choosing from various options based on some big information or messages that might be coming through. Mars, a cafeteria with abundance of choices. Mars also in the sign of Gemini, ruling choices, options, decisions. This is talking about a period of time this week where we are likely to be sort of going through it in terms of like just alternatives, options, choices, and really trying to decide. I feel like we're really trying to decide this week, but Saturn, the large white dove bearing a message, some type of information. Again, large white dove, that would be Jupiter, you guys, some type of revelation, some type of information, some type of messaging coming through, communication, learning something that helps us to make that choice. Very clear guidance with the Sabian symbols for the positions of Saturn and Mars. What are we learning that's changing our mind and motivating us to work on something? I feel like this is also representing great ideas to fix things, solve problems, heal, solutions, remedies, cures. This could also be military stuff, war games as well, with the facilitation of energy going on between Mars and Saturn. This could be very like militaristic in nature. Also, fires and storms with this energy. Information war vibes too, big time. Mars in Gemini, Saturn in Aquarius, in the Trine. There could be real strong attempts to vie for control of the narrative and the mind of the people in this energy. We can't forget to say that, because that is definitely indicated as well. But generally, this is just like on a personal level, concentrated, focused mental energy that is efficient and productive. That's what we're looking at. And then when we also bring this Pluto energy into it today, this is very productive for helping us to solve problems. That is what this energy boils down to today, is a recipe for solving problems for us that helps us to make a choice or a decision in some type of way, and most likely in regards to relationship dynamics with all this Libra, Venus energy going on. Let's talk about the tarot now, you guys. Let's talk about some tarot cards. We got a bunch of cards coming out today. We actually have 6 cards plus the back of the deck. Interesting message. Again, though, it's all coming back to being able to release ourselves from any type of limited mindset, mental programming, the things that we haven't seen that have been keeping us from recognizing the truth of what we value and desire, and therefore, not cultivating perhaps our truth and not aligning with our emotions. That's really what the overall message is saying. We've got the 9 of Cups in reverse coming out first, followed by the 8 of Swords, followed by the High Priestess. This is an inability to connect with or to trust our intuition for one reason or another, or to see the full spectrum of things. Like, look at this, the High Priestess. This is sort of reminding me of the energy that we have going on today. On one hand, there is, we're in between the dark and the light. We're in between the expanded overall bird's eye view and also like the underworld, like what's happening under the surface. And we are sort of in the middle of those things today, like bridged between both of these worlds, sort of being able to peer into both of them and like gain some type of insight into something. And the way that these cards are coming out, I feel like that is saying that this energy today, what we're gaining in this sort of bridge energy, in this as above, so below, having a glimpse of both, and, through what we're discovering, it changing our perspective, opening our eyes about something. I feel like that's talking about changing our perspective and opening our eyes about what it is that we truly want and desire. The 9 of Cups in reverse, this is the wish card. This is not being in alignment with or not understanding what it is that we truly want or desire, or being in a state of like just generalized disappointment with our lives, like not being aligned with that which truly makes us happy, that which truly fills us up, that which is fulfilling to us. And then with the 8 of Swords here, this is because we are actually like bound by our own thoughts in one type of a way that is preventing us from being able to see the truth of our potential and our ability to really create that wish fulfillment in our lives. But with the High Priestess coming in here and the energy, the astrology that we have going on today, this Jupiter influence and also this Pluto influence, it's like through the ability to sort of walk in between both of those and really see the root problems and simultaneously the overall view and be able to come up with a solution, like really intuitively sort of narrow in on what the problem is, and therefore, what the solution to that is from a very like root core basis, but also the overall bird's eye perspective. This is what will really open our eyes to what it is that we truly want. Okay. And then the next card that we had coming out was the 10 of Cups, which is the card that follows the 9 of Cups, the wish fulfillment. So it's like, if we can align more with what this energy is trying to show us today and really use what we're discovering in this energy to open our eyes to something or to free our mind in some type of a way, this is actually directly related to helping us move into alignment with this wish fulfillment energy. But it also, King of Swords, it's necessary to be in our personal truth. Like that is a major fundamental part of whether or not we can turn this Nine of Cups energy into this Nine of Cups in reverse energy into this Ten of Cups upright energy. And because if we're not in our personal truth, then we are not going to be able to see our potential properly. We're not going to be Seven of Pentacles in reverse. We're not going to be able to plant the seeds in the way that enable them to grow to their full potential. So it's like, while we are in, and look at, these are the swords. We're talking about the Eight of Swords and the King of Swords. It's like wherever we are bound from seeing our own personal truth, this is directly related to us not viewing the potential that we have within us, which is directly related to us not being aligned with our wish fulfillment. We need to get back in touch with our intuition and with our inner compass and like the voice within us that is speaking to us in our own language of authentic truth. And through this ability to see into the underworld today and also see the overall higher perspective, sort of walking in between, extracting information from both, gathering data from both, we need to allow it to open our eyes and liberate us from what we have not essentially been able to see. It's the solutions coming through. And then on the back of the deck, we had the Queen of Cups in reverse as well, because if we are not able to acknowledge and recognize our potential, then we are also not able to come to a state of ultimate emotional fulfillment. Like it's sort of going back and forth, right? But it's all the cards are playing into each other. It's basically like, it's very important that we are allowing ourselves to see the polarities, allowing ourselves to see the darkness, but also allowing ourselves to be guided by the light in this energy, because that is going to have some type of effect of opening our eyes to something, changing our mind in such a way through an adherence to a personal truth that actually frees us and allows us to come back into a state of emotional self-empowerment that promotes our ability to align with like our true wish fulfillment, and has a lot to do with our personal truth and a willingness to open our mind to where we may have been denying that, because denying that is going to keep us out of this process of self-actualization that I always talk about, and being able to maximize our potential, activate our destiny, and gain this true state of fulfillment where universe is trying to move us towards as a consequence of this process of personal transcendence and self-mastery, essentially, that we're going on right now. So with Mars in the trine to Saturn. So let's grab one more card, you guys. A synchronicity card, message from God, Spirit, Universe. What else do we need to know? What would benefit us as we're going throughout this day? What should we keep in mind to help us navigate this energy with as much grace as possible? We've got one shooting out onto the floor. And this card that we've got, it says, don't fight it. And with Mars and trine to Saturn, I don't think that we're necessarily going to be fighting it. In all of these trines, like things are sort of falling into place. Release those subject to bondage, Hebrews 2:15. Whatever type of restriction or bondage you find yourself experiencing, don't fight against it mentally. No, God will open up a new door for you and lead you to peace and freedom. So with all of this Pluto energy today, you guys, and the Saturn dynamic of things coming in as well, I feel like this is very relevant advice. We need to surrender to the changes that are happening now, surrender to what is emerging within us and the way that our mind is changing and the way that our preferences and desires are changing. We need to surrender to this process. And as we move through this energy tomorrow, there's going to be some release coming when the moon conjuncts the south node as well, and some healing. This is a very healing energy as well. So we're not fighting it today, you guys. We are surrendering to the changes, and they are definitely helping move us in a better direction. So that is what I have to say today, you guys. Message from the stars, message from the cards. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can give you just a little bit of whatever might be beneficial to you as you are going throughout your day and experience today. If you guys did like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel, you guys. There's a subscribe button just below this video. If you haven't already subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you did. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. It will just take you a second. It's totally free, and I really, really appreciate it. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social media stuff in my description box below if you're into any of that type of stuff. Share it with your friends too if you think that they would be interested, if they would like this type of astrology content and leave me comments, you guys. I value and appreciate your presence here so much. I really appreciate your feedback. I love knowing how this energy is affecting you guys as well. Thank you so much for being here. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. We've got another tomorrow. We've got some more big energy to talk about. We're really going to be in it in this Mars-Saturn trine tomorrow. We also have the moon that is going to be aspecting the nodes and Uranus. So we'll have more to talk about tomorrow, you guys. I'll be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. And have a beautiful day, everybody. Until tomorrow. Bye, guys.